Imagine a city where the holiest sites of Christians, Jews, and Muslims stand side by side, a city that war nearly swallowed whole. Then came a leader so humble, his arrival changed not just the city's walls, but the hearts of its people. This is the true story of how Jerusalem's keys were handed over, not in bloodshed, but in peace. The year is 637 CE. The city, then known as Aliyah, is a jewel of the Byzantine Christian Empire. Inside its fortified walls are magnificent churches and a population that has prayed there for centuries. But outside, a powerful Muslim army has arrived. After a series of victories across the region, they now lay siege to this holy city. For months, the people of Jerusalem hold out. But as supplies dwindle, the city's leader, Patriarch Sophronius, knows they cannot win. He agrees to surrender, but with one extraordinary condition: he will only hand over the keys to the supreme leader of the Muslims, Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab, himself, not to any general, but to the Caliph in person. Word reaches Caliph Umar in Medina, hundreds of miles away. Does he send a grand delegation? Does he arrive with a triumphant army? No, he sets out on a journey with just a single servant, a simple robe, and a humble animal to ride. When he finally reaches the gates of Jerusalem, his appearance is so modest that Patriarch Sophronius can barely tell him apart from his attendant. This was not the arrival of a conqueror, but of a pilgrim. Sophronius welcomes him and personally guides him through the city. He leads him to the most sacred site in all of Christendom, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, believed to be the place of Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. As they stand inside this hallowed space, the time for Muslim prayer arrives. In a gesture of immense respect, Sophronius invites Umar to pray right there inside the church. But Umar, with incredible foresight and wisdom, politely declines. He explains that if he were to pray inside, future generations of Muslims might see it as a precedent to convert the church into a mosque. They might say, "Umar prayed here," and claim the building for themselves. Instead, he steps outside and prays in the courtyard. By doing so, he ensures the church's protection for all time. Then came the moment that would echo through history. Sophronius hands over the keys to the city. But this is not a simple surrender. It's the foundation of a new social contract. Umar immediately draws up a formal treaty, a covenant known today as Umar's Assurance. This document was revolutionary for its time. It guaranteed the safety of every Christian in their lives, their property, their churches, and their crosses. It declared that their churches would not be demolished or occupied by Muslims. No one would be forced to abandon their faith. The treaty allowed those who wished to leave the city to do so in peace, with all their belongings. It also ensured that Christian worship practices would remain completely untouched. It was a blueprint for religious freedom, enacted at the point of a sword that was never drawn. While walking through the city, Umar noticed that the Temple Mount, a site sacred to both Jews and Muslims, had been neglected and used as a dumping ground. He didn't just order it cleaned, personally bent down and began clearing the refuse with his own hands, restoring dignity to the sacred ground. This act, the peaceful handing over of keys under a just treaty, became a powerful symbol. It demonstrated that conquest doesn't have to mean destruction, and victory doesn't have to mean oppression. It showed that true strength lies not in dominance, but in protecting the vulnerable. In a world so often torn apart by conflict, this story from 1,400 years ago reminds us that when power is met with humility and justice, it can build bridges instead of walls, uniting humanity instead of dividing it. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories that change the way we see the world. See you next time.